All right, I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know about getting started with your first acrylic painting. First, of course, we need our paint. I require in my class that you have some sort of resealable container. This is the kind that we get in the lunchroom at our school, but anything that you can get at the grocery store or anything like that is fine. So this is just reused container. We also only use our primary colors. So cobalt blue, yellow, magenta, and we also use white. You will also need some sort of surface. Today I'm just painting on paper, but typically I have students paint on something that has gesso on it. Gesso meaning a primer. It's just a primer. Then you'll need, of course, a paintbrush. I like to mix my colors with a palette knife. It just wastes less paint. You'll need a piece of paper towel to dry your brushes off or wipe them off. I'm also wearing one of my favorite shirts, so in my classroom, you'll find paint shirts like this, just whatever old button-up shirts that you can wear, in my office behind the door. Also, there is a paper towel dispenser next to the sink on the far right. And the last thing that you'll need before you do any painting is a dirty old mug of water. So I'll just put that to the side. And those are above the left-hand sink. So I've opened my paints. I'm gonna hold this up just a bit. So here's just basic color theory. We know that we've got blue in one corner, that's a primary. And we know that you've got red, or it's actually magenta, but we'll call it red today. We'll put some red in the top. And then yellow in the third corner. So those are our three basic colors for any color theory. But if I take a little bit of that yellow and put it here, I take a little bit of that yellow and I put it here, then I can start mixing it with my other primary colors. So you've probably already learned this in elementary school, but I'm gonna do a little bit more right now, just as a refresher. And put some red there. Take that off. And then, of course, we're gonna mix blue and yellow and blue and red. So since I'm on blue and red, that's where my palette's gonna be anyway. Let's just mix that first. And it should come out of the shade of violet. I don't like the word purple, I like violet. On my hand. So yeah, red and blue make violet. Red or blue and yellow, when you start to mix them together, form a green. And then yellow and red, of course, make our last secondary color, which is orange. Just like that. Now, all of these colors are really bright. You don't see most colors that look that bright in nature. And what we're starting to do in our class anyway is making sure that colors feel a little bit more natural. So if I take this green, for example, and I want to make it just a little more dull, I don't want it to be quite so slime green, I'll add whatever's across the wheel from it. So in this case, it would be red. And I'll just take a touch of red and put it in that green, and it turns to more of an olive green. And if you say you want it a little bit darker, add a little bit more red. It'll turn a little bit darker still. There, and now it's almost to a brown. Maybe it's too much brown. Maybe I'll add a little bit more green there. Wherever it goes, if it goes too far in any given direction, you can always add the color across from it or the colors next to it. So if this is too yellow, let's say I just want it to be a cooler green, and I come back in with my blue, and I add that to my dark green, and it makes it a little bit cooler. Like that. Sort of a dark blue green there. And that's how we're going to do every other color. Come back for the next video in just a second.